Good morning, friends. My name is Adrika. Today's our stories from a book called Friends of My Youth. It is written by Ruskin Bond. The story's name is Boy Scouts Forever. I was a Boy Scout once, though I couldn't tell a difference between a cranny knot to a reef knot or a reef knot to a thief knot. I don't know much about thief knot, except that it's used to tie up thieves. But I've never catched one. What do I do if I catch one? I suppose I'll just let it go with a warning. Tell him to be a Boy Scout. Be prepared, that a Boy Scout motto. Uh, but I never seem to be well prepared for anything. It may be a journey or an exam or a leaf blowing off my roof. For example, I got halfway through a speech and then ended up without knowing what to say next. Then I turned up in a friend's party above engagement party with a suit, and then in the engagement I wear my pajamas. So I did what the most impractical of boys to become a Boy Scout. It seemed like a rumor had gone across the school that I was a good cook. I never cooked anything in my life. But of course, I spent most of my time in the tuck shop, encouraging Chippu, who ran it, to make better samosas, jalebis, pakoras, and tikkis. So, with that qualification, I earned my cookery badge. There was about 20 of us in our troop, and during our vacations, as scoutmaster, Mr. Oliver took her on a camping expedition on Tara Devi, a temple-crowned mountain a few miles outside Shimla. At night, we began shelling peas, peeling tomatoes, and cutting onions. After all that had been cut and peeled, I, who was the troop's cookery expert, was asked what to do with them. Pour all of it into a big dekchi. Pour a half of tin ghee over the lot. Then, when everything was done, we were all asked for a taste. It needs something. More salt, I suggested. More salt was added, but it still lacked something. Sugar, more sugar, I ordered. Sugar was added to the concoction, but it still lacked something. We forgot to add the tomatoes, said Bimal, one of the scouts. Never mind, I said. We have tomato sauce. Pour a bottle of tomato sauce over the lot. When it was added, everyone agreed that it was too sweet. What about some vinegar? Asked some boy. Just the thing, I agreed. Two spoonsful of vinegar. No, it was too sour. What jam did we bring? I asked. Gooseberry jam. Well, it is just the right thing. Pour it over the lot. And when the jam was added to the mixture, it seemed just like the dish for us. But of course, it was very nice, and including Mr. Oliver, all of us liked it. What is it called? He asked. It is All Indian Sweet Sour Jam Potato Curry, I ventured. For short, just call it Bond Bhujji, said Bimal. I earned my cookery badge. The next day, Mr. Oliver said that he would give us a teaching coach on how to do tracking in the mountains. He would leave a track of chicken feathers, some leaves, and some tree bark, and we had to follow the trail. But unfortunately, we were not very good trackers. We did follow the trail some way into the forest, but we were enthusiastic by a pool of clear water and abandoning our uniforms, we jumped into it. We roamed around or lied into the grassy banks. Sometimes later, we all felt hungry, so we went back to the camp. We made bond bhujji again, but with several variations. It was beginning to get dark, and we were soon worrying about Mr. Oliver's whereabouts when he came limping into the camp, assisted by some local villagers. It seemed like he had been stay on his own trail for some hours and then decided to get back to the camp. He decided to follow his own trail, but in the glowing gloom, he got lost. Some villagers found him from returning to Tara from the temple and took him to the made him back to the camp. He was very angry with us and took us all badges, including good conduct and cookery. I had to give up my badge too. When we were all going to sleep, Mr. Oliver called out, "Where's Bond? He's supposed to cook. Bond, go and make me an omelette." I said, "Can't, sir." "Why not?" he asked. "Because I haven't got my badge. Not allowed to cook without it. Scout rule, sir." I said. Mr. Oliver said, "Scout rule? I've never heard of such a rule." And he got into his camp in a huff. But I relented and made him an elaborate omelette, garnishing it with dandelion leaves and an extra chili. "Never had such an omelette before," confessed Mr. Oliver, blowing out his cheeks. "A little too hot, but otherwise quite interesting." "Would you like another, sir?" I asked. "Tomorrow, Bond, tomorrow. We'll have breakfast early," he said. But tomorrow we had to pack up a little early. In early hours, a bear had strayed into our camp. It went to the storeroom and even rolled our biggest dekchi down the hillside. Then it ran into Mr. Oliver's camp. Fortunately, he was outside already and got entangled in his dressing gown and then made out grumbling and murmuring. A bear in the dressing gown? It was a comical sight. But as we were a troop of brave little scouts, we thought that it was better to let the bear keep the gown. Thank you.